My name's Darren. Jump in the passenger seat with me as we explore the remote areas and wildlife of Africa.
Take control of your own life.
At the heart of this series is two decisions that took me from this, now that looks definitely overexposed there, to this, stupid grass, and finally onto this. Both of those decisions I made while sitting in this room. For the first one, we have to head back to the heady days of October 2019. I'd spent a few months having a break in southern Africa, and for a final hurrah was heading from the east of Zambia and down to the Namibian coast via the remote northwest of the country. I wasn't filming, just the odd shot on my phone, enjoying the freedom and beauty of the Kununi region. But then for the first time in many years of driving my Land Rover around Africa, I had a really bad mechanical problem just south of Red Drum on this gnarly mountain pass. My front axle chewed itself up and broke, leaving me stranded a long way from anywhere. Red Drum is literally just a red drum, by the way. It's not a town. After removing one of the things that makes the axle go round and round, the front prop shaft, I could crawl along at 10 kilometres an hour in first gear with a horrible metal grinding sound that didn't encourage me to go any faster. So for 2 full days I limped a long way around the mountain ranges and down to Puros, where at least there was 2G mobile signal and the start of civilization. Luckily at the one lodge there they had a basic workshop and a good mechanic, so we freed up the axle by taking out the smashed metal parts inside so that it could now spin freely. My 4-wheel drive was now only a 2-wheel drive like most cars, but at least I could drive at semi-normal speeds again. A quick thanks to the Elephant Lodge, by the way, especially the 2 helpful mechanics and the kind manager Hilma for helping me out. It's a nice place. So with some trepidation and a dented ego at my first major failing after 400,000 kilometres, I continued straight back to the capital Windhoek, via the longest road possible, enjoying some time at the coast and ignoring the main sealed road by taking the quite steep Basua Pass with a 20% gradient at 1700 metres.
Wow, this is steep. Low range third gear, struggling here. It's 2-wheel drive though. Come on girl, you can do it. You can do it girl. Beautiful scenery. Alright, looks like we're coming to the top.
The Landy went into storage while I jumped on a flight home and started to make a plan to fix the axle. So that was October 2019. If we jump forward a few months to February 2020, we know what was starting to creep up on us. Corona was on its annoyingly effective march around the globe, and I could see that it was going to destroy my ability to work as it relied heavily on travel to do so. Then an interesting idea started to form in my mind. I'd already shipped a pallet of parts down to Namibia to fix the Land Rover, and booked a return ticket for a couple of weeks. I was going to pop down, fix the axle, quick test drive, everything good, come home, continue with life. So why not just stay in southern Africa, in the bush with the animals, and whatever Corona threw at us, weather it out down there? The Landy was already there waiting for me, albeit broken. So quite a decision, and for most people just crazy risky. So I made up a list of pros and cons to help me decide. Against going was, I was trying to be financially responsible for once, and this wasn't going to help at all. 2, I needed a hip replacement and was in quite a lot of pain, so camping and sort of life on the road would be quite hard. 3, African healthcare systems are often pretty basic, so catching corona there seemed to present a much higher death risk. 4, health insurance wasn't going to cover me, I'd be on my own whatever happened. And 5, I had no idea how long this was going to go on for. Would I be trapped there for 3 years? To counter that, there were quite a few things that I could see on the positive side of things for going. For example, if I was stuck only in Namibia, then it's the second least populated country in the world after Mongolia, which sounded quite a good place to be during a pandemic caused by breathing and touching other humans. Namibia is also huge, the same size as France and Germany, or Texas and Louisiana, with only 2.5 million people, and if the worst happened, I could probably find a quiet spot for myself to camp up forever. Thirdly, I was thinking I could still work remotely as needed. If work came up, I could still do it. It wouldn't be too much difference from being at home. There's good internet available and I could rent a house if I needed to. Fourthly, it's an extremely nice place to be. Namibia is absolutely beautiful, but a really harsh climate, a difficult place to be. Finally, and perhaps most powerfully, was this sense of dread. Something bad was coming. How could I avoid it? What could I do? Because it seemed like I was just going to spend months at home, alone, forever. How could I turn a negative into a positive? There was a feeling that if I went to Namibia, perhaps, maybe, while it was risky, it could be interesting. So, did I decide to stay or to go? I chose Africa. Why not? I hope you've been packing throughout all of that, by the way, because I bought you a ticket as well. So come on, let's go. Jump in the passenger seat with me. Ultimately, while it meant running a lot of unnecessary risks, the thought of doing something constructive and positive won through against potentially sitting at home alone for months on end. So that was decision 1 made. I'd leave the comforts of home, get on my book flight in 12 days' time, and take my corona chances in Africa. For decision 2, stay tuned. The second decision lay around what was I actually going to do when I got to Africa. I've been to most places in southern Africa multiple times, but I had to prepare to maybe be locked down in one country or even one region for months on end. I really need a purpose or a project to engage with each day, a passion to drive me forward. But what would this be if my consultancy work dried up and I was stuck in Africa for months on end? It turned out the solution lay in what I'd been doing in this room since coming back from Africa. I hope you enjoyed that. I've worked in information security for over 20 years and I decided to set up a YouTube channel to share my experiences and also to promote my consultancy indirectly. To help with this, I had great fun converting this room from an empty bedroom into a film studio. The back wall got a splash of paint to give it a little bit more contrast, and in order to cut down on the echo and the reverb, I filled it full of clutter and created some sound insulation panels from towels. In addition, I'd invested in some high-quality video equipment to ensure I presented myself well, and was in the process of learning how to use it and trying to get a look I liked. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, looks quite orangey red. As I was getting ready to launch my security brilliance on the unsuspecting world, Corona came along, and then my first decision to run away to Africa. So the second big decision I had was, should I buy a lot more video equipment, take it to Africa and teach myself to film, hopefully to create the world's best wildlife travel channel. I previously tried this many years ago when the technology was hopeless and YouTube didn't exist, but now it seemed a lot more fun and rewarding, so why not? Let's do it. Now at this stage it was the 1st of March and my flight was booked for March 12. I live in quite a remote location. Packages tend to take about 5 days to get here. So I had 6 days to decide what equipment did I need to take to Africa to film. Not only did I have to film with everything, I had to be able to charge it and protect it and edit it and kind of know how it worked inside out, because there wasn't going to be any YouTube tutorials available in the bush. So cue a pretty hectic week. I had all the normal things you have to do before going on a big trip, like emptying the fridge and mowing the lawn. But along with this, I had a lot of speed reading of video reviews and watching countless YouTube videos on double speed to soak up as much information as I could before leaving. In the end, only one package didn't make it as I headed off to catch my flight, wondering what the heck I was doing and seemingly heading into a very uncertain yet oddly exciting future. How would things turn out in Africa with Corona?